Pre-algebra, last couple of lessons here to end up the fall teaching. We need to talk about something called simple inequalities. So we've dealt with equations, some of those same concepts, but dealing with something called an inequality. So how do I solve 2x plus 5 equal 5? Well, the first thing I would do, I would subtract 5 from both sides of the equation. And this gives me 2x equals 30. Then I would divide both sides by 2. And I would get x equals 15. So my solution is that x equals 15. Now, if I change this equation to a less than, an inequality, same concept. Subtract 5 from both sides. Then you get 2x is less than 30. You divide both sides by 2, and you get x is less than 15. Now, in the previous one, I had one answer, x equals the number 15. This one, the way this says, if I look at this in a sentence, x is all numbers less than 15. So 15 is not a solution. 16 is not a solution, but 14 is a solution. 14.5 is a solution. So the way we represent this often is just on a number line. So if I can find the number 15 right here, I will draw my solution like so. So what this means is the open circle here means 15 is not included. Shading to the left, it means all the numbers that are smaller than 15. So the difference between, one difference between an equation and inequality, an equation typically has a solution. Here's the answer. With an inequality, it's a region or it's a range of numbers, okay? So let's look at this. Let's mark the numbers 3 and 15 on the number line. So here's the number 3. Here's the number 15, okay? Write two equations that have a 3 on one side and a 15 on the other, okay? You could say 3x equals 15. That's an equation, okay? It has a 3 on one side and it has a 15 on the other, okay? You could say 3x minus 1 equals 15 plus 2x. That's another equation that has a 3 on one side and a 15 on the other side of the equal sign. Now, let's look at an equation with the numbers 3 and 15. So if I have the numbers 3, or look at an inequality, 3 and 15, okay? Well, the thing that I look at it is I know that 3 is less than 15. But then if I go to the negative side, negative 3 and negative 15, I know that negative 3 is larger than negative 15. So you know this already, is that when you look at numbers that are on the negative end of the number line, it's the smaller absolute value numbers that are larger. Okay, so it flips that inequality. So what do you multiply 3 and 15 by to get negative 3 and negative 15? That's just multiplying by negative 1. So this is our biggest rule with inequalities. Anytime you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative number, the inequality changes signs or it flips, okay? So let's look at this. Let's move all of my x terms to that. So the same thing happens with inequalities equations. You want to get everything with an x on one side, everything without an x on the other. So if I were to move minus 3x minus 3x, so this gives me 7 minus 2x is greater than negative 9. Now I'm going to Subtract 7 from both sides. This gives me negative 2x is greater than negative 16. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. The minute I do that, I always circle that inequality because that's going to have to change anytime I divide by negative 2. So this is going to give me x is less than 8. So this is final answer, x less than 8. I typically put the variable to the left and the number to the right. So that's my final answer. I read first from the variable. Now let's do the next one. Let's move all the x terms to the right. If I subtracted x from both sides, I would get 7 is greater than 2x minus 9. I would add 9 to both sides. 16 is greater than 2x. Divide both sides by 2. And I get 8 is greater than x. Okay. Now, that's not my final answer. I'm going to always start with the variable. This means that x is less than 8. Okay. So this is all the numbers that are less than 8. So to graph this solution, here's the number 8. It's all the numbers that are less than 8. Now, everything you see below is something we have solved as an equation. Now it just shows up as an inequality. Okay, so the same steps happen. So here I'm going to distribute 3x minus 3 plus 1 is less than 2x minus 4 minus 1. Combine like terms. 3x minus 2 is less than 2x minus 5. If I subtract 2x from both sides, this gives me x minus 2 is less than negative 5. Add 2 to both sides. X is less than negative 3. So negative 3, and there's my solution. Next one, distribute 2x minus 2 greater than or equal to 4x minus 6. I tend to want to move the x term first and move it to where I get a positive coefficient. So I'm going to subtract 2x. So this gives me negative 2 greater than or equal to 2x minus 6. Add 6 to both sides. 4 is greater than or equal to 2x. Divide by 2. And this gives me 2 greater than or equal to x. Change that to where you're reading from the variable first. X is less than or equal to 2. So this one, I close in the circle, a solid circle at 2, all the numbers that are less than 2. X is greater than negative 1 minus 5 squared in absolute value. X is greater than, this is what, 1 minus 25. X is greater than negative 24, absolute value. This is x is greater than, absolute value 24 is just 24. So x is greater than negative 24. My number line doesn't go that far, so just adapt it. Here's negative 24. It's all the numbers that are greater than negative 24. Next one, if I distribute 2x minus 2 minus 3x plus 6 less than 6. 2x minus 3x is negative x plus 4 is less than 6. Subtract 4 from both sides. Negative x is less than 2. Now I'm going to need to divide by negative 1 or multiply by negative 1. That's going to change this inequality. X is greater than negative 2. So negative 2, all the numbers that are greater than negative 2. Next we'll here do the distribute. So you get what? 6x minus 4 is less than or equal to 14. Add 4 to both sides. 6x less than or equal to 18. Divide by 6. X is less than or equal to 3. So all the numbers that are smaller than or equal to 3. If I subtract 1 from both sides, x over negative 5 is greater than or equal to 8. I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 5, which means this is going to change the inequality. So I get x less than or equal to negative 40. So again, just modify your number line. Wherever negative 40 is, it's all the numbers that are less than or equal to negative 40. This one has mixed numbers and improper fractions. Let's go to improper fractions. X plus 5 halves is greater than 2x plus 15 halves. Now I could get rid of all the fractions just by multiplying everything by 2, just like I could with an equation. So I would get 2x plus 5 is greater than 4x plus 15. Now I could subtract 2x from both sides. So 5 is greater than 2x plus 15. Subtract 15 from both sides. Negative 10 is greater than 2x. Divide by 2. And you get what? Negative 5 is greater than x. So x is less than negative 5. So numbers that are less than negative 5. Dividing 1/7 by what number gives a number greater than 3/5? So 1/7 over x is greater than 3/5. So if I multiply both sides by x, so 1/7 is greater than 3/5 x. Divide both sides by 3/5. So on the left, you've got 1/7 times 5/3 is greater than x, so that's 5 over 21. So 5 over 21 is greater than x, or x is less than 5 over 21. You always want your variable to be first. So 5 over 21, I mean, that's just a number between 0 and 1. So 5 over 21. So it would be all the numbers that are less than that. Here I've got a number with decimals. I could distribute, or I could just multiply to get rid of the decimals. If I multiply everything by 10, I get 21x plus 50 is greater than or equal to 5x plus 2. So 21x plus 50 is greater than or equal to 5x plus 10. Subtract 5x. So 16x plus 50 greater than or equal to 10. Subtract 50 from both sides. 16x greater than or equal to negative 40. Divide both sides by 16. So x is greater than equal to negative, what's that, 20 over 8. So it's greater than equal to negative 10/4, negative 5/2. So negative 2.5 is right here. So all the numbers that are greater than that. Here, very similar, I could just multiply by 10, and you get 2. X minus 1 is less than 6. X plus 5. 2x minus 2 is less than 6x plus 30. Subtract 2x. So negative 2 is less than 4x plus 30. Subtract 30. Negative 32 is less than 4x. Divide by 4. Negative 8 is less than x. X is greater than negative 8. So negative 8, all the numbers to the right. And that leads us up into the homework for this section.